boy, I had a recoup. I have recouped. So this live, I just said, hold on. I'm going to react to the the prophecy. I've been actually following prophecies of coming out of Russia, and they actually have like show winning, like psychic show winning. So these are like the best of the best clairvoyants. They really seem to be pushing clairvoyancy over there. So I remember reading one clairvoyant who had a lot of things to say, who even, I guess, would do readings for the oligarchy, if I pronounce that correctly. Hold on. Oligarchy. Maybe it's that one. Oligarch. Okay, which means business oligarchs of farmer. Okay. I've heard even Putin being called that by that name. Oligarch, or oligarch. Maybe that's the correct way. Oh, and it says, oh, so they're actually recent. I speak to them like they're ancient. Yeah, it's just like 1990. So yeah, that's very kind of not too long ago. Okay, I'm thinking like at least early 1900s, but okay. Huh, interesting. Well, anyway, back to the clairvoyant. Hmm. All right. Mhm. Okay. So, okay, let me see. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, this is the one who I did. Okay, so the last one that I did a one on, it was famous psychic Marella Gasanova. Okay, these are not the same ladies, but while I'm at it, let me see. Let me see. Well, okay, let's read hers because, yeah, she's relevant. I don't know why I didn't put her name up. Okay, so there's clairvoyant, who won psychic uh, contest in Russia. Okay, okay, so the clairvoyant makes a bold, and the Kremlin backs her. Let me make sure. Yeah, this is the one. I only need one article. Will do. Okay, so we're looking at two clairvoyants. One I've already read, and I'm going to read her first. But the one who's on the thumbnail, I'm going to read her second. So, and she is, and she's a lovely lady. I'm pretty sure I've maybe she's up there. I don't know. I don't know if I had to put her on private. I don't know because something was going strange. Was like some videos. I think I can I can bring some of them back, but they were somehow messing up my algorithm where I was notified that I don't know when I mentioned. I know I never read or even looked towards Spain. I was like, look, I mean, it wasn't Spain. It was I think it was Venezuela. I'm like, I promise you. It's probably only once that I mean, and I was like, I'm not even going to talk about Venezuela because I didn't consider them strong enough to pull in. But like, I understood their stance, and I was like, okay, I don't need to mention them anymore. So it's like only once that I recall mentioning anything about it was like a Venezuelan president. I mean, I only said like a snippet, and they were like, we can't like promote your videos now because of that. I was like, I can't go hunting for that one sentence where I said I didn't want to talk about them. Because he said, because you're accused of manipulating their political system. I'm like, what? It's not that. I'm not that. I'm not that big. I mean, I was a little video thing. I didn't even have 100 hours type. I had like 40, 20 something hours, like less than 40 hours actually, but at that time, I'm pretty sure. Like very little hours, or like maybe like a dozen hours, and certainly no subscribers. Not really. I think only I think I had like a maybe less than 100 subscribers, but they were like, we can't do this now because. So I had to kind of like take a gander on like which videos. I think I can do it now because I'm no longer interested in doing the YouTube Google thing. I don't do it that way, in which I found greater success, and it allows me to talk about what I want to talk about. Like, I mean, I would do these kind of thumbnails in the past, and Google would be like, "Yeah, you can't talk about like why is everyone why is I mean, I'm not making fun of anybody, but why are other people who what's a nice way of saying this? They they have either they have a one-sided opinion, or their opinion is so one-sided and they have lack of knowledge. I think that's a nice way of saying it. So I'm like, what? I'm like, you let them, and I'm like, then I got real mad when I was like, wait a minute, that person, how old is that person? That person like what? Like young person in 3/4. I was mad. I was like, what? Or it'd be some like again, with all due respect, be like a regular person. I'm like, and they're like, yeah, I come in and I like sit in my kitchen, I just turn on, I start talking about. I'm like, yeah. They accuse me of popping off, and all I'm doing is making psychic predict. Well, I'm like, is it because it's coming from a psychic source or what? Like people are trying just surmising, drawing opinions, and all opinion, and these opinions may not even be accurate. I'm not saying that mine might be false as well, but and you're fact checking, and it must not be so swell, because that was a time when they were what they call it, shadow banning channels for talking on those subjects, along the lines of those subjects. So yeah, I was yeah, it was frustrating. But so somehow it got corrected, and so now all my hours are being calculated, and I'm talking about those subjects. This is all I've been doing. There's not going to be nothing greater or nothing less than me making predictions. Anyway, okay, I'm past that. That was a little bit of a mental block. It kind of took me back in time. So on about this psychic. Okay, the first psychic who's famous from Russia that I read, and obviously this is referencing Vladimir Putin, and the war with Ukraine, the invasion, and also the concepts, the theologies that are like, I guess, propagandized, World War III, etc. Blah 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 blah. Prophecies and all that. So this psychic has something to say, and let's see. And she has also worked with the oligarch, if I'm not mistaken. So, or the Kremlin. Russian psychic claims finale of Ukraine war is coming soon in chilling prediction. Now, this was in 2023, and it was January. Okay, so famous psychic Mirella Gasanova from Russia has shared when she predicts the Ukraine invasion will end after Vladimir Putin brutally invaded the country last year. Okay. Um, okay. In February 2022. Okay, got it. This is by Adam Kaler, and senior reporter and Reddit lead, and Charlotte Howie's, and it was in the evening around like close to 6 o'clock. It was January 2023. Okay. Anyway. So it says a Russian psychic claims the finale of the Ukraine war is coming soon in a chilling prediction. Mirella Gasanova is a well-known Russian psychic, and she has spoken out about when she thinks the Russian-Ukraine war will come to an end, or war will come. Yeah, war will come to an end. Okay, let's see what she has to say. She says, okay, the clairvoyant. They deal with a lot of clairvoyants. I think that's their favorite psychic. Oh, I'm seeing the word Kremlin. So it seems like the Kremlin's really like clairvoyance. The clairvoyant has made many Vladimir Putin related predictions in the past and has spoken to Kremlin backing news outlet Moskovsky Komsomolets about her claims. Okay, yeah, Kremlin, I think, are into the whole, which I think that is very true. I think that they had an entire governmental agency dedicated to discovering these types of individuals like clairvoyancy to use to aid them in war, the world wars and the warfare and etc. It says claims surrounding the finale of the Ukraine war were made when the psychic was asked about the invasion. Uh, she also made specific claims surrounding the involvement of the United States. Okay. Um, Miss Gazanova said, okay, this in quotations, the West made a serious miscalculation in the confrontation with Russia, but it's impossible to correct the current situation, end quote. Um, America's expectations were not met. Okay. And is there anything more she had to say? Ah, it says, in quotes, initially, they had a bet that Russia would not be so active to protecting civilians in Ukraine. This is our first prediction. Well, the first one, the miscalculation, no, there was no miscalculation. They knew that Putin was serious. Okay. But anyway, that's subjective. Okay. So then the second one is initially. Okay. So this is where she begins. She starts her predictions making this. She assumed how America felt. Okay. That means the leaders, how they felt about whether Putin would act. But this is crazy. She says initially they had a bet that Russia would not be so active in protecting civilians in Ukraine. And so that's one, okay, she got that one wrong. Okay, because, he's not protecting civilians. Um, at least not Ukrainian civilians. And he's really not protecting Russian civilians. Unless it's like, what do you call it? Unless they're occupying, his military occupying, certain areas, or spaces through military, then maybe, but protecting, far from it. Actively in protecting civilians, that's one thing. Okay, we get it. That one's wrong. But because I didn't prove that, time proved that. But Vladimir Putin is acting decisively. And since the United States has lost all the tools of influence on Moscow, the actions of our president put them in a stalemate. Hmm. Um, at the time she would have wrote this, she had a point, but they didn't run out of options. They didn't run out of options. They I think that she's failing to realize, because it's easy to talk like this with this tone from like being inside, because you got to think like you got to think you're powerful. First of all, you got to think you can whoop everybody. I get it, but and of course it's in the mythos in the world that um, when you say America, the very next word you're going to say is Russia. Well, we've been saying China now. By the way, we've been saying Russia, China, and we've always said that too. It was always like China was coming up. Even if you say, Yeah. It's America and Russia. Ooh. But China, you gotta look out for like here comes China. Yeah, like it's always gotta bring in China. You gotta acknowledge China. But pretty much you'd say, like Russia. The reason why I say this is because I think she's not really considering that Russia relied so much heavily is like intrinsic upon agreements and partnerships made, and only reason why he's now currently let him to proves my point to turn to North Korea, Kim Jong Un, is because everyone else is cut him loose, cut him off. They've cut him off in all kind of ways since then. And the stalemate, well, there was always an option. They just poured money into without getting themselves directly invested, other than financially, Ukraine, and that would be President Zelensky, Vladimir Zelensky, two Vladimirs, and there can only one. So then the next quotation says, Russia has the United States on the shoulder blades. Oh, well, that is a Russian statement. So if you don't know what that means, that would mean like, uh, okay, this is the head, and then here's the shoulders. Hold on. I can better explain. Let me show you. One second. She's saying that I'll be honest with you. The first time I read her, I wasn't very impressed. So I might be a little biased, but that was from the last time. But I'm trying to read this with fresh eyes because some points she may, that she's making, it cannot be completely disavowed. At the time she would have written it, it would have made perfect sense because people were kind of thinking, even though they knew that he was going in, they wanted to see how he would handle it. They were like, is he going to handle this? Like, get what you need and just, okay, shut them up. Like, what are they going to do? What do they want to do? What does President Zelensky want to do? And I think that's where we get President Emmanuel from France. He was thinking that because that first handshake said it all. It was like, good luck, buddy. He was like noodles. And I'm so happy that he redid that handshake. So I'm proud of him now. But at the time I was like, please get away from him. Macron, get away from Zelensky. You're not in this. You don't feel it, and that's okay. Admit it. But now I changed my opinions. I think he's very nice. I have I dedicated a video to him. So yeah, and that would be Emmanuel. Okay, I've got many videos for Zelensky. Um, so she's saying this is what she's saying. Here we go. Okay, you see this? This is supposed to represent the United States. She says Russia has the United States on the shoulder blade, like this. So if I was to make another one, it would be like, fixed where maybe the United States got a leg, he's kicking like this. He's kicking, but he got him on the shoulder blade. Like, this is how they said. She said she believes that Russia has the United States on the shoulder blades like that. Like, he's kicking. He a little got a little leg kicking. Okay, that's what she said. She said, okay, well, of course she's wrong because all we did was gave little brother Ukraine the a bit like kind of like like if this was on the street and a group of gangs trying to come and roughhousing one guy, and the wise old man gets out of the truck and says, "Hey kid," and throws him a crowbar. Like he says, "Thanks," and he's like. So he's swinging. He's just a swinging, and I mean, and he's landing too. He's landing on some, and they were that. That's where I would say not only, well, she miscalculated. She didn't see that coming, Well, neither did, um, I know that Vladimir Putin didn't see that coming. I know that everybody else did not see that coming. The Kremlin did not see that coming with all their clairvoyance. Russia did not see that coming. The world did not see that coming. Our president did not see that coming. And so they were like, okay. So they're like, here, you gonna do it? You want to do it? Here. It's like, because this actually prophesied that we would be doing it, but you're doing just fine. Here's some here's some money. So it says, okay, then it goes on to say, okay, so we're done with a few of the quotes. It says, the clairvoyant went on to make another prediction, claiming that the war could end soon. Okay. Okay, let's see. In recent, okay, so first of all, with the kind of with I guess they kind of got a little snippet of what I guess the writer is exclaiming. It says that the psychic claims that Vladimir Putin is acting decisively in the current Russia-Ukraine conflict. Decisively, which means there's a question of like, does he know what he's doing? Because I think it would have been, wait a minute, you said 28, you said a month, and you chose the shortest month of the year, which would have been February. So 28 days in 28 days. And now we're in 2023. Are you sure this is decisive? I think that's what they're saying. And then, of course, here we are in, what do they call it? We're approaching 3 years. So is it, okay. So, okay, in recent months, experts have claimed that Ukraine would win by spring. Oh, okay, but would win by spring. But Ms. Gasanova predicts otherwise. So she's saying no, Russia will win. Okay, Ukraine will not win. Okay, that's what she said. She said in the coming months, we will see how America begins to gradually move away from Ukraine. Well, she's been really wrong about that. But she can count, but actually, she can maybe count this presidency, the incoming presidency. President Trump um, kind of wants to get this squashed so he can get the spotlight back on him. You know, the things he want to do, and this would be really looking quite nice if he could, by any means necessary, get them to halt this whole situation, war situation. So anyway, the rest of that, okay, so the rest of that quote is, the Americans wanted to use Ukraine to fight against Russia. Now, she is absolutely right on that. She's absolutely right. Because as we already described, the prophecies is that America and Russia would go at it, prompting, so in this case would be Putin, who's supposed to represent the beast, and I'm telling you, he's not interested in raising up the I mean, he wants to be the bad guy. He wants to boss on people, and he wants to take Ukraine. He doesn't want to nuke Ukraine, and he doesn't want to be the one who ushers in the beast, and he doesn't want to be the beast. He doesn't want to be the head of the beast. He doesn't want to be the crown of the beast. He doesn't want to be the horn of the beast. He just wants to be Putin, the bad man. That's it. And you know, in Russia to maintain, we're supposed to be a bad, that word. They're supposed to be bad, and so that's what he wants. But and he wants me to say, look, didn't I say we get the land? Didn't I say we take? That's what he wants, and it not be messed up with nuclear, toxin. He doesn't want that. Because that means the whole, okay, so the number on that is 20 years. He doesn't want to have to wait 20 years to be able to utilize the land. And like, destroying structures is one thing, but nuking it and then exposing it to all of that, poison. He's like, I don't want to poison the land. I want to capture the land, knock over a few buildings. That's what I want to do. And then I want people to still be there to boss on. Like, look, I took it, and create like second class citizenships and things like that. And then like give them passports, and they can come to Moscow. I want to do it like that and make them learn our language, but make them learn, force them to learn, Russian. That's what I want. That's what he wants to do, and he wants to do it in his lifetime. So, and he's not interested in backing down, which that's a whole nother. I have a lie, but I put it in unlisted. We have to come back to that because it's the whole drama between, okay, now that, Trump is, well, in the future, back in the presidency seat, he's like leaning in on the table, as is, rightfully so. Vladimir Putin is leaning in, and it's like, okay, somebody's got to give. So what's the deal? So that's going to be exciting. Anyway, so let's see what else she has to say. She says, they are afraid of a possible reunification of the former republics of the USSR. That's part of the prophecy. That's part of the prophecy. This is she's talking about America is afraid of the former republics of the USSR. Okay, this is why the Americans tried with all their might to ignite the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Americans didn't try to ignite. No, Americans did not try to ignite the might. Russia demonstrated their might and to ignite and ignite the conflict and take Ukraine, and it didn't. It fell through. It fell through, and America was like, "Okay, here's your reward." They didn't ignite anything. This is okay. Anything else she says? Okay, so the next quote is, "It is thanks to this that we will soon be able to observe the finale of the Ukraine conflict. It is thanks to this," like underestimating. Oh boy, number 20 is really powerful in this. Yeah, here goes another number value 20, which by the way is Pluto's uh, uh, metaphysical symbol, esoteric symbol of judgment. It says, as of October, so it's October 2022, okay, the United States has given Ukraine more than $20 billion, dollars, okay, with more being pledged by President Joe Biden in the recent weeks, the opposite of the Russian psychics claim, or the opposite of the Russian psychic claim. That means she got that wrong. So it says, as of 2022, the United States has given Ukraine more than $20 billion, dollars, with more being pledged by President Joe Biden in recent weeks, the opposite of the Russian psychics claims. Ooh, ooh, they called her out on that one. That's why they changed out. Maybe that's why they changed out the clairvoyance. It says the predictions by Mrs. Gasanova come after United States and Ukrainian officials said a dramatic plunge in Russia's artillery fire shows the Kremlin's army is on the ropes. Okay, kind of okay. So yeah, that was the reward. We talked about that. Um, yeah, because yeah, according to the prophecy, they should have been able to swoop in there, you know, like like an eagle, like just like taking up a small meal. Okay, so it says Russia are currently on only firing artillery around 75% of their wartime high. Officials say that the drop in Russia's artillery fire proves that Putin's army is becoming weaker on the battlefield as Ukraine continues to go from strength to strength. Mm, okay. What else they got to say? Was that it? Anyway, yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's the first psychic. So okay, and she's been, yeah, they didn't like what she had to say. Okay, yeah, they don't like her. They don't like her predictions. Okay, so what this one says. Okay, so this is the one that's on the thumbnail. All right, so clairvoyant makes bold World War III claim on Kremlin-backed Russian media station. Mm. Let's see what she has to say. And her name is so Russian Nostradamus, uh, Kazata Akhmed Zahanova claimed that everyone is afraid of Vladimir Putin, so there is no real fear of a third global conflict. Well, I wouldn't say afraid of him, and the fear is because he could be the one, the old man that says, I'm old anyway, and the crazed old man, which I said that he will not play the crazed old man and say, you know what, I want to, like, he wants to go out with a bang, and then press the button. That's not what he's gonna do. And so he's not the crazed old man. And but at the same time, that's the only thing that people are would fear is him losing it. And in the heat of wanting to be the winner, victorious, he would then do it. He would prompt the nuclear part of the prophecy, but not fear him as in not to challenge him. But she is right. There is no real fear of a third global conflict. She is right about that. There is no. First of all, he's not going. I know that no one, I guess, in the prophetic would like to hear this. And people who follow those doomsday theologies. But Putin is not your man. He's not the one. He's not the one that's going who's going to strike. Who's going to bring up the start everything by obviously by nuclear conflict and then move into a third global conflict. That's not going to happen. And he's not going to be the one to raise up the Antichrist. He's not going to be the one to raise up the beast. Putin doesn't want to be that guy. Like, that's evil. He's a bad guy. He wants to be the bad guy, but he don't want to be evil. He said, that's stupid. Raise up the Antichrist. What? Are you okay? So no, he's not going to do that. Over the weekend, President Joe Biden made changes to U.S. involvement in the war between Russia and Ukraine by permitting Ukraine leader Vladimir Zelensky to fire U.S.-made missiles into Russia, and these missiles can hit deep, long range. And President Macron of France, well, I was proud of him because he was like, he was supporting. He's in support of it as well as are the people from in Europe who Putin is trying to wants to push around. Okay, so this is in quotes. Let's see who's okay. It says all the talk about the beginning of the Third World War, doomsday prophecies, is done only to escalate the situation. Exactly. So she kind of think like I'm thinking. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that position. The doomsday prophecy is to escalate. And now, in my opinion, I think people use that because when it happens and they're right, then people will want to listen to them and stuff, and they'll be like this prophetic guru, God King on earth. That's what I think. That's why I think people want to, the one who wants to nail that information. And they come out, they're like, this, and it doesn't happen. And they have actually, like that, like as an industry, that's like $1 billion of like trillion dollar like industry. They made a lot of money off of the doomsday stuff. Okay, so the rest of the quote is, they will not dare to directly confront Russia, a great nuclear power. So in this regard, you cannot worry, because Hata Akhmedzanova told a Kremlin-backed Russian media outlet. Okay, well, I understand her stance. She's speaking from her side of the corner, so I'm going to give her that. I will give her that. But it's but one thing we have learned that she would not be able to grasp, because yes, I'm just gonna be honest with you, she is not a warrior. I mean, being that she's not a warrior, I don't think she understands. Okay, just because she has all that height and might and weight doesn't make her like what do you call it? An unbeatable foe. It's what they call it, a long way down to fall because Russia is so tall. Is that how it goes? Or the harder, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Something like that. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. And whoa, boy. Every other day they're saying like how like oh gosh, humiliation to humiliation to humiliation. To be honest, without the nuclear part, you just it's like we can't help but just like in our minds, we're just saying young men like just, but we cannot see them as young men as much as we Vladimir Putin as much demonstrates that they're not just simply young men. They were soldiers. But I mean, Zelensky wanted so desperately to treat them like young men. Like he would try to capture as many as he could and let them talk to their families and get their families. Which he had to revise because the first clairvoyant said protecting civilians. Well, Vladimir Putin does not allow captured soldiers who are Ukrainian to contact their families. So they had to revise how, in fact, Zelensky was figuring out ways to get them reunited back into their family and undoing the propaganda that they had been been propagated, indoctrinated with. So he's tried to play the good guy. He's tried to play are we not all brothers? He tried to all that. And it's and they came in and did the worst. They did the same travesty as Hamas, but except Vladimir Putin did it to Ukraine. We already read all that. They reported it and they proved it all factual. Everything that went on. They even they even took the kids. So yeah, and put them in like a camp. And then Zelensky had to negotiate. If we don't even know. I don't know because I hadn't followed up on it, but I hadn't heard much of it since then. But I remember that it was like it's like no, look, no, we put the kid to the side. The adults are talking. That's the way that it was presented. But it's hard to even. It'd be very. It's hard. It's very difficult to trust our law enforcement when law enforcement does that with like your own kids, let alone when you're thinking like it's international affair and you're looking at it from the outside and you're like it's like somebody else's foreign government coming in and then removing people from their the natives from their inhabitants and placing them somewhere unknown, uncharted territory. And oh, no, this between you and I, just between you and I. So that was that was very. I mean, yeah, there's some very creepy things that would be considered ethical. Okay, so anyway, Biden's agreement with Zelensky came 1,000 days into the full-scale war in Ukraine and only 2 months out before President-elect Donald Trump retakes office. Okay, that's gonna get good because yeah, we got some incoming drama. And yeah, we already know that I already predicted that this war is the doorway in which President-elect Donald J. Trump enters into the world stage by way of, and he's like, I want this to stop so I can focus on what I really want to do. So I can't, yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane, and we're kind of worried. But one thing they cannot certainly rely on is they can't say, okay, it's they can't say you can say if no matter what you have, or no matter specifically, no matter what was this match, okay, no matter what President Zelensky has, there's no way he can beat up Putin. Putin would just pound him pound for pound. But if, however, now it's updated collective consciousness information and our collective consciousness. If President Zelensky Putin is equipped with the knowledge, the intellect, the science, the technology, and experience, he can compete with Putin. And that says a lot, considering that how this psychic, or both psychics, exclaim that no one dares challenge Putin because Russia is a great nuclear power. Interesting raising of consciousness when we think of it like that. That means, okay, Putin can get his rump kicked in, and Zelensky can actually win a fight. So it goes. However, today Putin signed a new nuclear doctrine allowing the use of nuclear weapons under threat, as reported by Russia TASS news agency. However, Akhmedzanova remains strong in her stance. Ukraine will no longer be able to seize the initiative from U.S. because see, that's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. There are more sentimental ties to America, and I even believe Trump coming in with Russia, to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you, even though President Zelensky, he himself is Jewish. I know it's Ukraine, but Russia prophetically has always been kind of like everybody in the West favorite villain. And so, yeah. But I've said this, and I'm going to take my stance. Um, I, I still believe that heaven will not fail Ukraine. I just cannot believe it. In fact, there's a fail safe for Ukrainian people, because thank goodness America isn't the only supporters of Ukraine standing up for Ukraine's self. Other people, Europe, because especially Europe has stakes in this, because they would be somewhere in the European space, Western world would be kind of next, they'd be eyeing. It's like, okay, I got enough exercise, enough energy. I'm like looking at you next as an opponent. So yeah, so everybody like Europe right now have reasons to support Ukraine, especially with Ukraine not failing, as maybe suspected that would be the case. So it says, okay, this is in quotes: Ukraine will no longer be able to seize the initiatives from U.S., but she failed to, not being a warrioress, failed to realize that the other, even the Orient, there's other nations besides Europe who also are like siding with Ukraine. In the near future, our opponents will try to annex part of the western regions of Ukraine to Europe. Okay, now, okay, she's thinking intellectually. Okay. Now, she used the word annex, but she, you mean protecting it, being a part of UN, but it being being democratic under a republic sort of system. That means Ukraine will remain Ukraine, and it will still maintain a president, even if it's President Zelensky or not. If some president who is Ukrainian and not being absorbed into, which annexing was what everybody's saying that Russia is doing. Okay, so this is one of the tricks that Western enemies want to resort to, she explained. So this is propaganda. She's running propaganda. Okay. It says okay, quotations. She's become some kind of like high priestess of clairvoyant high priestess of of Russia. She's also she won. She's the top psychic who won in the show. They had a psychic contest, and she won. So she's better. She must be more qualified than the last one. But anyway, let's read what she says. Our troops have advanced significantly this year. No one can stop their advance. In the near future, the liberation of several more military important cities will be announced. We see that a panic reigns among the Ukrainian militants. It will grow with each passing day, she added. She's speaking like a clairvoyant. I'm gonna be honest with you. She's speaking like a clairvoyant. She's speaking like, as a matter of fact, I didn't ask you. Okay. And then it says Putin has gained military help after his council ratified a security defense pact with North Korea. That's what she's talking about, what they're talking about here. That mandates mutual military assistance if either country is attacked. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about that one as well, because this allows Kim Jong-un to enter to the world stage as a world power, and it puts him in an elevated space to sort of look to peek over the cliff to see if he's powerful enough to take on South Korea, who America is standing next to South Korea. They're buddies, right? And or they're friends, etc. And so, Kim's like asking like Putin, hey, in your experience, do you think I'm ready? You think I'm ready to do this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and so that's why all the havoc right now in South Korea. So, but there's like some of the people who I've been listening to, professionals. Now these are professionals, so they're smart. They're like lawyers, etc. And they know the law, right? And it's sounds very democratic and conservative over there, by the way. Well, it's like they're not able to really see what's going on. Like they're not speaking on the world level. They're speaking on what's happening to them. The whole martial law over there. They're speaking what's happening to them, but they're not really seeing the like what made him act outside himself, outside of his character, like some like to overstep his authority. Like they say overstep. I mean, no, that's the problem. To exercise such an intense action, to take such a like a dire like what made him like out of in the middle of the night, like make this an experience for everybody. You know why? You know why? Because Kim Jong Un, North Korea, is active. Its military is active right now, and they know, as I know, as I've stated, because I said it, and then this started happening. By the way, like the whole martial law thing, and they're like, "Yeah, we see you. We know what you're trying to do. We see you, Kim. We see you." Anyway, so there's that. It says Pyongyang's troops have already been deployed to Ukraine. And of course, the gods say that Ukraine must see these troops as enemy, as and nothing short of that. They cannot treat them like a fruit fly. You can't no shoo, you're too no. You gotta swing hard and swing deep. He knows because I said it. So I like you got to go ahead and like do the deed, because it's kind of like the bully who's got you. Okay, here's the example. Who's got your arm like lifted up like this and got your head down, holding you up, and the calling over the buddies, which would be North Korea, to hit you here to punch you in the sides, right? And you go. Ooh, 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 and it's so rude. It's so rude. So yeah. So just giving so give you a visual what's going on. It says okay. So it says Akhmet Zanova, that's the clairvoyant, who accurately predicted several tsunamis worldwide, claimed the invasion would be resolved by 2025. Yeah, that's going to be wrong. However, she also said that Russia's enemies in the West will arrange certain provocative actions until 2027. The first two, she said, she's saying the first 2 years of Trump to come in and clean it up. But 2025, yeah, there's not going to be resolved by 2025. Actually, it will not be resolved by January 8th specifically, because like she said, like she's basing everything on the fact that Donald Trump takes office. So everything is centered around him coming into office in January. So in other words, and definitely, and I talked about this astrologically, there's nothing that can be done in the moment between now and Tuesday, because everything is in the balance. And then so thus things are gonna activity is gonna pick up actually like come like when it's Tuesday and it's moving into midnight Wednesday, yeah, it's gonna be real active. So, you know, this is kind of like use this time to get some rest or like look at the details on the field. You know, this is your time to do it because yeah, it's going to get real active. Next week, this following week upcoming, we're moving into get through the weekend, and it'll be Monday, then it'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. It's gonna like every shifting is moving quickly, and on a personal level too. By the way, yeah. So like get things done. Of course, I'm me too. I'm doing my videos, and I have to send my angelic. I call it. What is it called? Messages. I call it. Oh, yeah, and I call it divine messages. My divine messages, angelic messages. Yeah, spiritually guided messages. Yeah, to my clients. So that's what I'm doing. So that's my way. That's my little catch up. And it says the self-proclaimed psychic. They misspelled psychic. They almost like they're like trying to write physic. Self-proclaimed psychic reiterated her full endorsement of President Putin, calling him a wise man. Okay, and then that's the end of that. All right, nice. Okay, we made it. There you go. How? Oh, hi, Angelo Paul. Hello. I was in the middle of an article. I hope you're doing well today. I wanted to observe the old clairvoyant thing. Oh, you got your mask. Like, keep your mask on. Oh, no, that's you smiling. I thought that was a mask. Hi, Angelo. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having an amazing day. Ooh, I have 18. How long have I been here? Nearly an hour. And yeah, and the duration, thank you for hanging out. 18 views. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. Everybody like kind of hanging out. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. You know, I had a clean shave, and you know, I feel fresh. Um, I'm already hyping myself up with my warm drinks, and I'm doing like little like hour. Like I'm getting these done in an hour. And I know I can come in and sit down and hang out. And it's well worth it when I do, you know, come in and hang out with you all. So, yeah. Which is going to be a very busy month. So don't worry. Will be time to hang out. I can come in, at will and connect with the good energy at will. Yes. So, and I'm just, having a fantastic time. I'm just enjoying myself. Mhm. Yeah. So anyway, so that was about the clairvoyancies. There was two clairvoyants. The first one we read. This second one is definitely. I feel more. I think they're both a clairvoyant, but the second one I can tell is that is, I would say, considered at least one of the top clairvoyants, or is truly like a very powerful clairvoyant. I can feel that. I truly believe. Like the second one is my type of clairvoyant. It's definitely clairvoyant, um, and sensible too. A sensible, realistic clairvoyant as well. I have to admit that. I admit that. Um, yeah, powerful and sensible. I admit that. Um, it was very difficult. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's very difficult to see where she's wrong. There's maybe a little bit of misunderstanding. Like there's 2 points, especially the whole, being that, she may not be a warrior. So there's like one thing that's missing. And then the other one is that uh, she thinks that it's going to be resolved, you know, by Christmas, and that's wrong. That's not going to happen. Mm-mm. And then the other one is just kind of like, well, duh. And then of course, you're going to speak better on like all my clients who come to me, I'm always on my client side, always. My clients could be wrong. My client, and I will find a way to bridge them and open their minds to where they if they're like being mean to somebody or being mean to their partner or being unreasonable, like they'll open up their mind and start being more reasonable. So that's what I mean, that I'm always on their side. Like, I'm your friend. Yeah, this person's good. Yeah, yeah. And next thing I know, they're asking, you think I should do that? I mean, I know it might be a little petty. And then I'm like, yeah, I think you should do it. And then, but when you do it, let's give him time to understand what, or, what she, you know, like, what they're learning. Give them time to actually talk it out, talk about it openly. So I always guided in that direction. Yeah. But I'm always on the side of my own people on the inside. Always. hmm So I was fair. I was fair. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not expecting that. Uh, yeah, I was not expecting that. She's actually quite good. I can be honest. She's actually quite good. Um, it's just that she's definitely wrong on a few things, for sure, 1,000%. Let me see. We didn't want the finale one. Um, okay. Okay, I'm gonna read it straight through. I'm gonna read it straight through. I'm gonna read it one more time. Because I found two errors, and I don't know. I think I'm just enamored the way, because she's actually speaking like a clairvoyant. Let me read it one more time. Okay, because that was my first reaction. Okay, I'm gonna read it. This is my second time reading it. Okay, so I only read it twice, and it's in real time. It says, okay, clairvoyant makes bold World War III claim on Kremlin-backed Russian media station. Okay, all right. It says Russian Nostradamus Kazata Akhmed Zanova claimed that everyone is afraid of Vladimir Putin, so there is no real fear of a third global conflict. Well, the reason why there would be a conflict, okay, now I'm thinking rationally. The reason why there would be a conflict if they were to attack him, because he's not. The problem isn't that he's a the problem is not being afraid of him. The problem is they're just as destructive as he is. That's their problem. Like like I'm crazy and you crazy too. And two crazy people, that a lot, because we both crazy, a lot of people can get hurt. I mean, that's the real fear is the fear in itself, the fear that how destructive that these two people would have to be in their decision making. But of course, Vladimir is not the crazed old man. Over the weekend, President Joe Biden made changes to the U.S. involvement in the war between Russia and Ukraine by permitting Ukraine leader Vladimir Zelensky to fire U.S.-made missiles into Russia. Oh, by the way, Zelensky now is again with the knowledge and the tech, right? He's actually developing his own, so manufacturing and mass producing even long range missile. By the way, this is something I didn't know about Ukraine. They're celebrating their 30-year marker, having gotten rid of their own nuclear program. They had got rid of all their nukes. They had nukes as well, like just like Vladimir. But here's the thing: they got rid of theirs 30 years ago. And what do people usually say about nukes? They say America has to keep their nukes. That people have to keep their nukes because everybody else has nukes, and just in case you do it, if you do it, I'll do it. So you push it, I push it. I'm just as crazy as you are. So, so that's the fear. That's the fear. It's not because the great big nuclear superpower. No, because if you push it and I push it, there's no point. Nukes are not going to care who has the more power. It's just going to be destruction, 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 destruction. So you better hope that the person like, I don't want that. Like I don't want to destroy I don't want that environment, the repercussions, the people. Like you better hope that the person really cares. Like Putin does care in that regard about like the nuke is even he says that doesn't need to be in the hands of a stupid man or woman these days or woman. Um, Okay, the quote says, "All the talk about this beginning of the world war, is done only to escalate the situation. Yes, they will not dare to directly confront Russia, a great nuclear power, and they have." When was this written? Because since having fired in this long missile, it was 2 weeks ago. They wouldn't dare, and they did. They did. Hold on. Hold on. Uh, Ukraine fires into, because if I'm not mistaken, it says, okay, 7 hours ago, it says, watch as Putin gas rigs in Black Sea bursts into flame, uh, unleashes a barrage of sea drones. Okay, yeah. Russian fires. Okay, yeah. We know that Russia did that. Meets, okay, hold on. It says Ukraine fires U.S. made long range missiles into Russia for the, let's just read that for the first time. And this would have been November. And okay, it says, how Russia is reacting to U.S. authorizing. Okay, they authorized it, and then what? It says Ukraine hit a Russian weapons arsenal. Okay. So it's escalation. Okay, the 1,000 day of the war. Okay, in other words, 3 years. The green light. Okay, says the targets inside Russia, long range American weapons. So that's direct. Direct. It was such a direct that Putin had to revise his nuclear decisions. Okay, now that we're thinking about this a little bit more closely, deny the attack. Okay, hold on. Russia air defense. Okay, says air defense. Okay, for example, Russian air defense has said they shot down 5 of the missiles. Okay, there you go. Okay, so what is it appeared to be a fresh round of it says rattling. It says, okay, the Kremlin, U.S. president. Okay, so anyway, so there was a direct, that was direct. Now, I don't know if she saw that, but that happened. So, yeah. 1,000 day regard. Okay, okay. It says, so in this regard, you cannot worry. Okay. Well, it says Biden's agreement with Zelensky came 1,000 days into the full-scale war in Ukraine and only 2 months out before President-elect Donald Trump retakes the office. Okay, yeah, Zelensky has to do as much as he can between now and then, meaning Donald Trump to retake the office, Oval Office. However, today Putin signed, but it forced Putin's hand to sign a new nuclear doctrine, and it says that's allowing the use of the nuclear weapons under threat. That's very specific in quotes. Okay, Ukraine will no longer. Okay, yeah, yeah, and she says that. Okay, now she says that Ukraine will no longer be able to seize. Well, Ukraine is ceasing. Okay, talk about seizing. Okay, so it said Ukraine will not be able to seize U.S. help assistance. What she's saying, Ukraine. One thing, well, the only thing that Ukraine is ceasing is Russian territory. So let's look at that. It says Russia ceases. Okay, okay, Singapore. Okay, I agree with that. Per square, but they, at the same time they're losing people. 138 troops per square mile. Ukraine. Okay. Um, let's see. It says Ukraine claims to have seized Russian territory, including nearly 500 square miles in the Kursk region and 1,000 square kilometers overall. The forces have taken hundreds of Russian prisoners of war, hundreds. Okay. And this is on the 24th September. It says exclusive. Zelensky says Ukraine plans to hold seized Russian territories. It has ceased. Like we're gonna keep it. Okay, we're going to keep the territory we see. It says, so this is in Kyiv, Ukraine. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky told NBC News on Tuesday that Kyiv is planning to indefinitely hold Russian territories it seized in a surprise incursion last month as it tries to force President Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table. It's in quotations. Now, this is beautiful. I love this sentence. I read this article before. It says, we don't need their land. We don't want their, that's what I was saying. Is he not even interested in them? Don't want to, don't want their language or nothing. Just want to be left alone. Okay, let me read the quotation. I'll try not to get worked up. It says, we don't need their land. We don't want to bring our Ukrainian way of life there. He said during this first interview, yeah, he don't. He said we don't want to bring our ways, our life, our culture to Russia, and we don't want theirs. Well, Russia said they're going to make them learn Russian. Okay, so so annex. Now, I know that term is usually applied to what they're trying to do, meaning to incorporate within the domain of a country state. So yeah, that's what they were saying. Oh yeah, Russia is used there. She tried to flip that and say that. I think she's thinking about the whole like if Zelensky joined NATO, that would be like they consider that to be an annex, but in actuality, Putin is annexing, is practicing that word on Ukraine and absorb it into Russia. Now that is annex. Not joining NATO. Yeah, Europe is not interested in Ukraine like that. Um, they don't even want them. They really let's look at it. NATO and Ukraine. I know that what I was reading is that I don't think. Donald Trump said there's a little statement that says Ukraine joining NATO off the table. Like that's not even conversation. Like I know the spirit of this energy. It's gonna be like nobody wrong here. We just want to squash it. Just be quiet. Like a problem issue that never gets settled. It just gets pacified. Like whatever anger you have, whatever resentment you have, tuck it in, suck it up. That's gonna be the resolution. But anyway, NATO and Ukraine, not a true resolve. That means for a short period of time. It says NATO allies' newest missile faces trial by fire on Ukraine battlefields. Okay. Um, okay. November. Okay, this is November. Let's look. Okay, what have you done in this area since December? Ukraine pushes NATO membership as allies sidestep in invite call. Ooh, that was 3 days ago. NATO drafts list of, okay, NATO news. This foreign minister, NATO to prioritize protecting. Okay, NATO agrees to prioritize protecting Ukraine. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's see how powerful this psychic really is. Okay. So Ukraine pushes NATO membership as allies sidestep invite call. And this is on the 3rd of December, 2024. Okay, that's what we want to look at. Okay. Okay, summary. Kyiv says nothing less than membership is acceptable. NATO has agreed Ukraine will join its ranks, but not when. I knew it. Oh boy. And that right there, that line right there, making Putin mad. NATO has agreed Ukraine will join its ranks, but not when. Diplomats say no consensus for now on invasion. Okay, so NATO has agreed Ukraine will join the ranks. Will join NATO. Beautiful. Okay, it says Brussels. Okay, Ukraine declared it would not settle for anything less than NATO membership to guarantee its future security as the alliance sidestepped Kyiv's call for an immediate invitation at a foreign ministers meeting on Tuesday. In a letter to his NATO counterparts ahead of the meeting, Ukraine Foreign Minister Adriel Sabahai said an invitation would remove one of Russia's main arguments for waging its war, preventing Ukraine from joining the alliance. It says, although NATO has stated that Ukraine's path to membership is irreversible, the alliance has not set a date or issued an invitation. Diplomats said there was currently no consensus among its 32 members to do so. So it's on the right, it's on the path. It says some countries are waiting to decide their stance until they learn the position of the incoming, that would be Donald Trump. Donald Trump is already said off the table. I don't want to talk about it. So only way they're gonna do it is that they're gonna have to say, okay, what do we want to do? That would be a wonderful prediction. What do you predict will happen? The incoming presidency is going to say no to Ukraine joining NATO. The rest of the people are saying it's irreversible. It's going to happen. I would like to make a psychic prediction. I want to read on it. Okay, hold on. Zelensky and NATO. Okay. Let's take a look. Zelensky, Ukraine. The question is joining NATO. I know this, the last thing I was thinking of was, this is trust, persistence. So this is have to trust in the process and continue being persistent. Okay, that is to when it comes, it's going to come all at once. So it won't be like, oh yeah, just chipping away at of a block. It's gonna, like, when it comes, the invitation comes, it's all at one time. Okay, but specific. Okay, so that was to involving Trump though. Like that was the way, because Trump is incoming. Like one of my fears of Trump saying, off the table, no way. Are you joining NATO? Too much conflict. Okay, so with Russia, blah blah blah. All right, so now again, specifically, uh, Zelensky, Ukraine, join NATO. Says it is heart centered. The growing, taking action is a yes. Yes, it's going to happen. It's halted. You got to take it to the next level. They got to escalate. It's got to be escalated to joining NATO. Say yes, you can do it. Need to be around, be invested. Yes, you do need to be in that meeting. Business, unrealistic. It's unrealistic. The investment into this. Oh boy, emotions. It's unrealistic to think that it's because of emotional reasons or it's going to be ethical. It could be ethical reasons, but not like, oh, okay, the world's compassionate. No, 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 no. You can't rely on that. That's unrealistic. Not as expected. Okay. Anyway, don't put too much stock or energy into it. But you can't settle. You have to position yourself for revolution, revolutionizing your thoughts. And yes, but it's going to catch the dark eyes. So definitely the evil eyes there. Okay. So it will not be comfortable because of the anxiety coming in. But you must not lose your voice. You must, as you say, argue your points of dissatisfactory, which actually they've been doing. They said nothing short of NATO membership will do, but you will manifest the incoming. You will manifest. They're just learning. They're learning about you right now. You're teaching them, and you're showing them your strengths. Okay, so that's that. Let's read the highest. Okay, now we're going to read from the highest points and see what we get. It's more likely in 2025 it's going to be a Ukraine joining NATO conversation because that is the year of the human heart, to be honest. So in spite of the darkest hearts and minds are going to be in this space, but they're also going to be in the year of the human heart, which is being actually channeled Venus of great importance through the characteristics of Libra. So, and this is all year. So the entire 2025 in this long-term relationship between Ukraine and NATO and Zelensky, fighting to get them and into the realm of NATO, the protections of NATO, which is it says here that NATO is prioritizing that protection for Ukraine, is going to be long term. So yeah, it's going to be long term. It's going to happen. This is their good news. That would have happened actually in November. They would have gotten that news. Everything is in the balance. I know for certain. They're not going to hear anything of this anytime before Tuesday or Wednesday. But in anyways, it really doesn't like move into action. Everything is like moving structurally into place as we're moving throughout the month of December. So it's going to be more so definitely at the top of the year, like 2025. Which after the first week, 1 week will go by. Of course, Trump hits office the 8th. Boom, there it is. Yeah, and then the rest of the year is the building that relationship and that rapport. Ukraine must with NATO. They have to strive together. They have to fall in, become enamored of each other. But it seems like it's going to happen because it's surrounding oneself, or excuse me, Zelensky or Ukraine is surrounding themselves with the members of like the allies of people who are countries, nations who are part of the this group, the NATO group, and then what else? And it was this right there. Oh, they creating these long-term bonds, long-term political bonds, business bonds. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, this is at the highest vibration to see what's going on here. Um, Okay. The risk. Okay, they're just seeing what the risks are. Strategy. And let's see if it can hold up. Okay. Energetically. Um, this is not a place to be silent. To see what kind of person you are. Okay. Help. Before they help. Like for you not to be elusive. There's a lot to do with voice. Like, will you speak up and protect your home? Like, what kind of person are you before we let you in? These are like trials. Um, this is like to see if you have, like, if you're a man of integrity, a nation. If you have a, like, your nation's and Ukraine is integrity. Soul tribe, the beauty of people, connection, humanity, democracy, emotions, um, to stabilize oneself, individual nationalism, because emotions, yeah, emotions as in, that's when it will happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen. This is the soul tribe, like Ukraine, NATO, or like soul tribe. So it is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And because of the nature of this time, all of the obstacles, as in terms of events and places and people, are actually out of the way. For that means if this be true, as it has proven time and time again, not even a incoming president elect Donald J. Trump can circumvent uh, the Ukraine joining membership of NATO. It will happen anyway, because no one is who is in reverse, or who is a blockage, or who is, can reroute things, because they have to focus on their own things. That means that other prioritizing there are other priorities than what Donald Trump will need to focus on, rather this this Ukraine NATO deal goes through, if it happens. Anyway, that's that. Woo, boy. All right, so there's that. And I wanted to do, well, I think I answered that. Let's see if we can get, oh yeah, the calendar. Okay, one more. Okay, so let's see. This would be, I know everything is here is 2025. So 2025, the changes between Ukraine, NATO, calendar, year. Here we go. So, okay, so he's the fiery person. Yeah, that's true. All the verbal agreements, energetic agreements. His path number is 10 to a 1. That's a number of a president. That's very true. Completion. He's completed his task. 50% of everything necessary. They've already got the I guess the communication side, the energetic side. Um, okay, that's NATO. To revolutionize at the top of the year, January. Actually, like, it's going to be happening next week. So the remainder in of this month into January, deciding factors. That's what. So we got to pay close attention to there. 3. There's somebody. Okay. They're going to be talking about it finally. There's another person that they wait on to join in that conversation long term to commit to this, and that this one is definitely the incoming president. That's Donald J. Trump. Um, Representatives, maybe not him directly, the representative. In the time of, because we know Age of Aquarius, a lot going on with Pluto. Pluto to going forward action wise. Wow, that's to give the rights, the freedoms, the rights and the freedoms. Yeah, there it goes. So yeah, between now and January 8th, literally. Well, they kind of said that, but we know where to look. We know where to look. The first part of the new year. We got to look towards the first part of the new year. So now, all I have to do now is look at, let me, I can figure out the actual timings. Let's get it. All right. Up to January 20th. So, yeah. So next week, all the way into like most of January. So January 8th will happen, right? So Trump comes in, and then the 8th all the way to like January 20th. Like, yeah, it's already gonna be what you call it, put in place that Ukraine is joining NATO. There you go. All right. I don't will I ever have to I don't know if I have to ever do a live on that, but maybe I will. But anyway, it's I said it today on a Saturday. I know it's a Saturday. Oh, Saturday the 7th, my second off day. All right. So it says, okay, their psychics, their clairvoyant says, our troops have advanced significantly this year. No one can stop their advance. In the near future, the liberation of several, yeah, this liberation is applied to Pluto. Mhm. But Ukraine has its own liberating experience as well. Pluto and Uranus, associated with Aquarius. Yeah, yeah, of several more militant, important cities will be announced. It says we see the panic amongst Ukrainian militants. It will grow each passing day. Well, Ukrainian militants are not butchers. They're not what you call pushed to be butchers. They are literally in the defensive, and very rare at an occasion they've taken an offensive stance. They just now, out of all the time, have actually taken a more like an aggressive, uh, stance as an opposition. So it really has been mostly defensive on a defensive side, and kind of like just waiting for it to happen, and weren't it even allowed. It was almost like dad is like, no, don't hit first. Wait, no, when he hits you, like let him say what he wants, let him do what he wants. But now they're throwing rocks. Still no. Till they actually hit you, you do not hit them back. You don't defend yourself. Then it happens. Now you gotta defend yourself. Now defend yourself. So if now it's okay, you're already in the middle of a fight. You might as well go ahead over there and handle, like, go over there. I'm gonna drop you off. Go in there and you go deal with it. No, make it fair. Ask him to come step outside. Take it to the yard. So it's like the very first time that they actually like had the chance to like throw first punch. Okay, so they celebrate 1,000 day of war, Ukraine. Uh, okay, talking to the UN. Putin has gained military help, yeah, from the North Korea. But yeah, already went through all that. Okay, what else? What else? Self-proclaimed psychic, reiterated. She fully endorses. Okay, so actually, she's not right. She speaks like a clairvoyant though. Very, very, I would say, very insightful, but is wrong what she's saying. Okay, she did okay. She predicted several tsunamis around the world, but in this case, he says, claim it will be there will be resolution by 2025. Um, but she's speaking as a resolution, as in um, that Ukraine would lose, and the territories, will in the West will be defeated. That's her stance, and but there will be like remnants of it for the next 2 years. That gives Donald J. Trump, and who is in alignment with Russia naturally, and as also to be fair, the U.S. We already said that U.S. actually in this conflict is aligned with um, Ukraine, and the minority is aligned with I mean, Western minds is aligned with President Vladimir Zelensky. Yeah, and so that's so the next the 2 years of the first 2 years of the presidency to do kind of like a bit of a cleanup. Okay, so actually she's been wrong all the way through. It's just very cunning, very cunning, witty in conversation. So I knew I had to read it twice because I was just surprised how I mean she's truly sound clairvoyant, but then I had to like say, okay, now that we're like the shock value is over with, now it's practical, like because I am I'm a psychic that predicts. Okay, you have psychics that speak to the dead. They speak to the dead. I predict the future. That's my gift. That's my niche. That's my thing. My prediction about the future. So it's for in the way that I do that, it's black or white. It's either it is or it's not, and you got to be able to see it with your eyes. It can't be nothing like, well, I feel like, and you'll feel that. No, no, no. I can't prove feelings, but your eyes and your touch will not lie to you. So if I say it's going to feel blue today versus you're going to see blue today. You see what I'm saying? It's going to what do they call it? Um, you might feel that you're susceptible to the elements versus you are plunged into the elements and it actually rains on you. You will feel the rain pouring down on you. You know, literally, you will see the clouds before it happens to get out from underneath those elements. Because we're now taking heed to all these warnings beforehand. So yeah, that's how I read and predict the future accurately. So with all that said, and also matching, also specifically, if I tell you a prediction, I'm also going to give you a time frame. So the time frame that I've given, of course, is between now and actually next week. And also we're going by solar days. So it starts uh, Wednesday or midnight on Wednesday. Yeah. And then it goes all the way to on your calendar. It's going to go on January 20th. So, and our incoming presidency will be in office well before then because it'll be January 8th. And so all of this information is happening in between that time. All right, there you go. And now I'm gone. Now I'm going. Okay, we did it. Okay, all right, bye.